In this video, we'll see how to work with percents and proportions. So percents and proportions. What we can do is we can use a model to estimate percent problems and then use proportions to calculate them exactly. And this proportion that we're going to use is important to remember. It is, we put the percent over 100, and that's going to be set equal to the part over the whole. So some things that can help with this is some keywords to look for in the problems. When you see this word is, right? That word sometimes tells us which number is the part, and we'll see how that can help us in just a second. And same thing with of. We want to look for the keyword of, and that can sometimes tell us which number represents the whole. So let's look at an example. I want to find 38% of 41. If I look at my proportion here, I need the percent, the part, and the whole. I'll always have two of these, and one of these is going to be the variable I need to solve for. So 38%, well, that's definitely my percent. Then I want to find 38% of 41. So you can think of that of 38% out of 41. 41 represents my total amount, or the whole. And so what I want to do is I want to set up a proportion. I'm going to put my percent over 100, and that's going to be equal to my part over the whole. Well, notice I found the percent, I found the whole. I don't know what the part is, so that's my variable. My percent was 38%, so it's 38 over 100, which is equal to 38%, and the whole here was 41. I'm just going to cross multiply. 38 times 41 is 1,558, and 100 times p is simply 100p. I'm going to divide both sides by 100 because that's the coefficient. And I see that 15.58 is equal to p. So my part is 15.58. We look back at the original problem, find 38% of 41. 38% of 41 is 15.58. I'm just going to show real quick how we can sort of model what this is saying. On this side, I've got my percents from 0 to 100. So 38% is going to be about here. So this all represents being 38% full. The whole number is 41. This is the total amount that everything's out of. So if I wanted to calculate, well, what number would be about here, oops, about right here for the whole? Well, if this is 41, I know halfway here, this is about 20, right? And then halfway here, this is about 10. So it makes sense that this number here would be about 15. And that's how we can make a model to show this. All right, again, I want to find out another one here. 97 is what percent of 776? So I'm going to set this up. I need to find out my percent over 100 is going to be equal to my part over the whole. Well, when I look at this problem, I see 97 is what percent? 97, that word is there. That's telling us our part. So my part goes over here, 97. What percent? This is what I don't know. I've got to figure this out. So that's my variable, right? I'm going to call that x. My percent goes over 100. And then of 77.6. That word of, that keyword of, telling me the whole. So 77.6 is here. What we can notice right away is that the numerator is bigger than the denominator, so my percent should be over 100. And I'm just going to cross multiply to solve this. 77.6x is going to be equal to 9,700. I'm going to divide both sides by 77.6. And I get that x is equal to 125. So 97 is 125% of 77.6. All right, for this next problem, I want to say 14 is 32% of what number? So 14 is, this is telling me the part. I know my percent that's given to me. And then what number, of what number, I am looking for the whole here. So I'm going to set this up, percent over 100. Let's try that again. All right, so my percent over 100 is going to be equal to the part over the whole. And I know that the part is 14. I know the percent is 32%. And the whole is what I do not know and I need to find out. So I'm going to cross multiply. 32W is equal to 100 times 14, or 1400. And I just want to divide both sides by the coefficient, which is 32. And 1400 divided by 32, I find out the whole is 43.75. So 14 is 32% of 43.75. All right, here are for you to try on your own. I want to identify what percent. This is what I'm looking for. This is my unknown. Of 60. So the keyword of telling me the whole here. So this is the whole. And then is 51. 51 is the part. So when I set up my proportion, it's going to be percent over 100 equals part over whole. I need to find my percent. I know the whole is 60. And I know the part in this problem is 51. So I'm going to cross multiply. 51 times 100 is 5,100, and that's going to be equal to 60 times x. Okay, and then finally just divide both sides by the coefficient to solve for x. And I see that x will be equal to 85. So the answer is 85% of 60 is 51. Next, you want to find 65% of 245. So again, I'll set up my proportion. Percent over 100 is equal to part over whole. This is my percent here, 65%. It's labeled there, of 245. Keyword of is telling me that this is the whole here. And find, I need to look for the part. That's what I don't know. So I put my percent over 100, 65%, 65 over 100 equals the part over the whole. The whole is 245, and the part, that's what I don't know yet. So I'm going to cross multiply. 65 times 245, that gives me 15,925. And that's going to be equal to 100 times p, or 100p. And divide both sides by 100, and I get 159.25 is p. So I'm saying 65% of 245 is 159.25. And finally, 207 is 46% of what number? So 207 is, this is telling me my part. 46% is my percent. Of what number? Of what number? I'm not sure what the whole is. That's what I'm trying to identify here. So the whole is going to be the variable. The percent is 46%, so 46 out of 100, and the part is 207. So I will cross multiply. 46W equals 100 times 207, which is 20,700. And I just need to divide both sides by my coefficient, which is 46. And I find that the whole is equal to 450. And that's how we use proportions with percents.